Hi, happy Friday everyone. Before we get started, make sure you check your homework on pages 14 and 15 with the answer keys that I posted. Today we're going to be reviewing some multiple choice and we're going to be solving a quadratic linear word problem graphically. Open up to page 18 to get started. On pages 18 and 19 there are 4 multiple choice questions. I want you to pause the video and take a few minutes to answer these 4 questions before I go over them. Pause the video now. The answer to number 8 is x equals negative 3 and x equals 1. The question is asking you to state all values of x for which f of x is equal to g of x. That means when do they intersect each other? The intersection points are negative 3, 5 and 1, negative 3. This question, though, is specifically asking for the x values. So be sure to write your answer with just your x values, x equals negative 3 and x equals 1. Number 9, the answer is B. The intersection of the graphs is going to be, again, where they intersect each other. So for this one, I would probably use the calculator and type in y1 equals negative x, y2 equals x squared minus 2, second trace intersect, or you can look at the table of values where the y values are the same is also going to be your solution. So in this case, the solutions are negative 2, 2, and 1, negative 1. Only one of the 2 solutions are listed in this problem, so your answer would be B. Number 10, the answer is D. Use your calculator, graph both the line and the parabola, and match up the graph with the correct solution. Or you can look at the table of values and plot the points. Question number 11 is going to be choice D. Again, to see where they intersect, you can use your calculator and do second trace intersect, or you can look at your table of values where the y values are the same. The next thing we're going to be doing is going over page 24. So turn your packet to page 24. In question number 3, you're given the equation of a pitcher throwing a ball, which is a quadratic, meaning there is an x squared. This is going to be a parabolic shape. The other equation is going to be the swing of the bat, which is y equals 9, which is going to be a horizontal line. And the question is asking you to determine at what time is going to be the x, the ball and the bat make contact, meaning when do they intersect each other. The first thing you want to do is label your axes. Y is going to be the height, and x is going to be the time in seconds. After that, we need to take and graph both the parabola and the line. To graph the parabola, you need to make a table of values, and since this is going to be a first quadrant graph, you're going to be starting your table when x is 0, and you're going to be stopping when y equals 0 or your first negative number. Graph the parabola now. So for your parabola, you'll be starting when x equals 0, and again, you will stop when y equals 0 or the first negative number. The next thing you want to do is to make a table to graph your line y equals 9. Again, we're going to be starting when x equals 0, but when you look at your table, you will notice that every y value is going to be 9 because this is a horizontal line. So just write down a few of the coordinates for the table. Once you have your tables, now you need to make your scale. My largest x value is going to be either 3 or 4, and my largest y value is going to be 12. Count the boxes and come up with an appropriate scale now. On my x-axis, I decided to do every 3 boxes counts as 1. And on my y's, I did every box is 1 or every other box is 2. You do not have to have the same graph. As long as it is a consistent graph, you will still get full credit. Now take and plot the points for the parabola and for your line. When you're graphing the parabola, keep in mind you will not be plotting the point 3, -3, but you still do extend the parabola so it touches the x-axis. Don't forget to label the equation y equals -x squared minus 2x plus 12, and y equals 9, which is the horizontal line. Don't forget to put an arrow on the end, and you get y equals 9. Now the question again is asking at what time do the ball and the bat make contact. The intersection point is 1, 9. Since they're asking for only the time is referring to the x value, meaning at 1 second, the bat and the ball make contact. That would be your final answer. Let's go on to question number 4. Question number 4 is talking about a rocket being launched from the ground. The reason they know it's a parabolic path is because the equation has an x squared on it, making it a quadratic or parabola. Then they are also asking you to graph the equation y equals -x plus 4, which is representing the flare, which they tell you is going in a straight path because this is the equation of a straight line. The question is asking you to find the coordinates that the rocket and the flare first collide. First collide is going to be asking for when they first intersect each other. The first thing you want to do is to make a table of values for both your parabola and the line. Pause your video now to make your table of values. Remember when you're making your table to start when x equals 0 and to stop when y equals 0 or the first negative number. The same thing for your line. You want to start your table when x equals 0 and stop when y equals 0 or your first negative number. Be sure to take and label both the x and the y-axis with time and height. Now you need to make your scale. The largest x value that you have is 14, and the largest y value is going to be 16. Be sure to count out the boxes to figure out an appropriate scale that will fit. Pause the video and make your scale now. For my scale, I decided to make each box 1. You can either label every box 1, or you can label every other box is going to be 2. Now take and plot both your parabola and your line. Once you graph both the parabola and the line, be sure to label both of them. Now the question again is asking to find the coordinates of the point at which the rocket and the flare first collide. Now in this case, there are 2 intersection points, but since the question is only asking where they first collide, they're only looking at the coordinate 2, 12. So the coordinates where they first collide would be 2, 12 for your final answer. Be sure when you're making your table of values for homework that you always remember to start when x equals 0 and stop when y equals 0 or the first negative number. The exception would be if you're graphing a line with a positive slope that is going upward, keep in mind that is never going to be going down, hitting the ground. For homework tonight, you will be doing 2 word problems on pages 22 and 23. I will post the answers on Monday morning for you to check your work. Today's joke of the day was submitted by Lexi. Why is the obtuse triangle always so frustrated? Message me your answers. If anyone else has a joke to submit, just send me a message through Enmoda. Happy Fun Factoring Friday. Hope you guys have a nice weekend. I will talk to you on Monday. Bye.